Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to Sparx's 2-key event presented by Joke. We are rolling right along this quarterfinals weekend up to the last couple of matches of the weekend in the Sunday block. And oh boy, do we have another good one for you guys here today. It's going to be Sleeby Maddy versus alemagno333 to see who will be moving on to the semifinals. As always, my name is Sparky, and I'm joined in the commentary booth this time around by Beat43210. Beat, how you doing?
Doing alright, cannot complain. We are off the back of two very exciting matches, and here we are with yet a third. And we kick off with a warm-up from Renard.
Yeah,
classic.
off of the only 1 and 2 key loved set. Very recognizable if you are pining for 1 or 2 key content. No better way than to get on a leaderboard. This one's been around for what, a year and a half, almost 2 years now, and loved, and seeing the names on it, not ones that you would expect, but unsurprising to see it here as a warm-up. Very fun chart to play through, if I do say so myself.
Yep. I'm glad to see that both these players are already here and ready to go.
Absolutely. It's very dubious.
We've been having
people.
some very quick matches, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the matches today have been around 30 to 40 minutes, so which is good. Hopefully that trend continues and we don't get stuck with unexpected stalling. Because it is, I hadn't eaten lunch yet, and you know, I like to have lunch.
Yeah, you're not you when you're hungry.
You're not you when you're hungry, yes. You gotta kill hungry, thirsty, dead, right? As that one commercial goes.
Absolutely. So, hopefully for your sake, for your lunchtime, they can get this one over and done with sooner rather than later. The good thing is, we at least have a match. There's been a couple of win by defaults that have occurred, but thankfully this one not going to be joining that list. So looks like they're loading up into the second one, and
chaos time. Oh
yeah, looks 1 key. So
Sunny's glad. Sunny's glad he's not playing this.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a bit of a doozy of a chart, and I mean for warm-up's sake, I think a 1 key warm-up kind of makes sense. You can kind of get the full wrist going, full hand going, depending on your play style. A lot of folks still single tapping this late into the tournament, which is terrifying considering that they're some of the highest seeds in this tournament. So yeah, off into the second warm up here before we get into the match proper.
But of course, this warm up, an absolute banger. If this doesn't warm up your fingers, I don't know what will, really.
Yeah,
also,
for sure.
1 key warm-up in our 2 key tournament?
What a joke, am I right?
What a joke. Absolutely. A human comedy, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely, and it's one of those where I feel like I say this at least once every weekend. It's very nice just seeing the adoption of these key modes. Whether it's ironic or unironic, people seem to really be enjoying toiling around with these key modes as opposed to the traditional 4 and 7. It's very much a welcome change.
I'm telling you, the creation of a new mode right here.
Absolutely. I mean, people have been trying. It's not without its proponents. People definitely trying to get this more recognized than it already is. Because, I mean, hey, what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. You know, there's no such thing as having extra attention that creates more problems. It never has happened in the history of gaming.
Never.
Not even once.
Never.
Looking at No Man's Sky and that launch.
Hey, but they turned it around.
They turned it around, respectfully so. But man, the expectations they had, that was just stacked
absolutely.
up on them. Ooh.
Yeah, the weight of expectation. But with that being said, that will do it for the second warm-up here. The players will now do their roles. Of course, the most important part of a match before getting into the bands and that all-important first pick.
Mm-hmm. Time to roll. I saw time to roll 2, and I thought there was an actual roll of 2. But hey, we got the roll of 1 instead, so that was kind of close.
Get that person the roll.
You, good sir, have won a prize.
You get the dubious honor of having the roll 1 tag on the Discord. Good job.
Yay.
I can't say anything.
You're
I have that roll too. I rolled a 1 on my, I think my first match.
You're a winner. Oh, congratulations.
You treat. And let's see. So Hybrid 1 going to be the ban for Alemagno, and Maddy going to ban out Rice 1. So I think two different
here.
Absolutely. Two different trains of thoughts, I imagine, going into these bands. Hybrid 1, I think, being one of the more popular bands of the weekend so far, where people just not wanting to play with that technical style of hybrid. And I think for Maddy, Rice 1 being the most straightforward chart in this pool, just kind of pinched the options.
SG as a pick. Let's go.
You love to see it. So back to the point, Rice 1 being the most straightforward chart in this pool gives Alemagno a little bit less to work with in terms of potential comfort picks, and Maddy going straight for the SV, of course. It's just a matter of who practices it at the end of the day, and the players are already going into this first map of this best of 9.
Sunny, absolutely disappointed not commentating this map. Very tragic. Oh well. F. I'll give you an F on stream instead of an F in chat. Alright, so time for the song Me and My Robot Wife. Interesting song to name. The SV song in this pool for the round. A little goofy, as it usually is.
Yeah, and it has a nice variety of different SV gimmicks going on here. All these speed up, pseudo teleport style of SV definitely tests the anticipation. Everything feels like it's snapped to 1/4, but then it becomes a 1/6 before you even realize it. And that's not even getting into the more physical parts of the chart. Both players handling this opening section magnificently, holding on to the FCs. The only difference between the two players, just that accuracy, just the comfort of being able to read through these gimmicks versus being able to perform the gimmicks, separating the two players at the moment.
Yeah, the accuracy, night and day difference. Sleeby Maddy getting 99.5% in the first half of the song. Alemagno scoring 97% accuracy. Definitely behind as a result, but has not picked up a miss yet. So the potential for recovery is there, especially if Maddy suffers a break unexpectedly.
Yeah, and then the most intrusive part of the song, these bursts going into the 2-note chords. Maddy actually picking up the first drop between the two players, but I think they've built up enough of a cushion where they can kind of tank their way through that miss, only dropping a couple thousand points, but still a 30,000 point cushion to work with is nothing to scoff at here as we make our way into the last quarter. It does get a little tricky here with this one column jack, but as long as you're able to trust the music, you should be fine, and both players make it through unscathed.
Yep. Maddy only picking up one miss, but the overwhelming accuracy advantage, clearly offsetting it. It's not even close. It's basically unnoticeable.
Get it? Oh, the trolliest last note that has ever existed catches out Alemagno, but the damage was already done. Breaking
that was the breaking the full combo, wasn't it?
Yes, they choked the last note, but honestly, score-wise, doesn't make that much of a difference. The accuracy was there, but I mean...
But the style points, Sparky, think about the style points.
Yeah, I got the FC and still lost.
It is truly a tragedy.
Truly.
Oh, well. Well,
is
going
what it
back to familiar territory, world domination, first choice once again for Magno.
Yeah, pretty straightforward rice chart in the grand scheme of things. A couple of awkward burst sections during the latter half, but overall, if Rice 1 wasn't an option, Rice 2 is a suitable substitute for overall comfy first picks, I imagine. And I hope that this is a bit of a closer showing between these two players. Alemagno definitely able to swing some good accuracy scores. Can they compete against Maddy, though, who has shown off some pretty good scores of their own on these Rice charts in the past?
Yep. But let's see, Magno has the advantage of just recently playing this only less than 2 hours ago in a very similar setting, so it's definitely helping with the early performance, but it is anyone's game as both of these players try to fight for a material lead.
Absolutely, there is very little separating these two players at the moment, so early going at least. Before that 400 combo cap, though, should cross it relatively easily before too long, and very little separating the two players as we continue on here inside of 0.1% of each other, inside of 1,000 points. The lead for Alemagno for the moment, just separated by a handful of 300s, you'd imagine, as we start to get a little bit denser in some of these trill sections, and now the accuracy is tied, and with that, the score lead as well, flickering back and forth between the two players as we cross into the second third of the chart.
Yep. And it is anyone's game as Maddy's clawing back a little bit, having a slightly better ratio, however microscopic as it is in this previous quarter of the song. So, it is absolutely neck and neck. It's just a shame that neither of these players realize how close it is.
For sure. I imagine it's better to not know. I can only begin to imagine the amount of constant nerves.
Better for the better for the players. Yeah, it's better for the players, but the audience demands drama.
Oh, and drama we are getting. It has been neck and neck between these two players. They are tied in accuracy. 46 points.
45 points. Hey man, it's gonna come down to the ratio here at this rate.
Absolutely, the 1/8 sections becoming 5-stroke rolls, not catching out either player. Alemagno taking a little bit more accuracy damage, 0.04% behind now. The slenderest of leads for Maddy as we make our way into the last quarter. About 400 notes left in the song, and it's still all to play for. Neither of them giving an inch as Maddy picks up a rush to 300, starting to lose a bit of accuracy, starting to fall back into the clutch of Alemagno, but they haven't done much to bring their accuracy back up, but that could change in an instant here. Still an 8th of the chart left to go. It is still anybody's game here.
Yeah, and there's only been very few greats between these two players, but every great's going to matter tremendously here as we get to the final notes of the song. But it looks like Maddy's going to clutch out the win.
Oh, don't think too soon. There's still a couple of awkward rushes here that can catch a player out if they're not too careful, but 400% Alemagno starting to climb back up here. There's still a chance for them to be able to usurp this at the very end. Last couple of notes. Not gonna
Maddy
do
brings
it.
it home. Yeah. No greats.
My goodness.
No greats to materialistic change it. But yeah, one good and one great making the difference. It is not enough for the better ratio to overcome Maddy's score. It's a little scary.
Absolutely.
Little terrifying for Maddy, but Maddy does get the win. And it's now 2-0 as Maddy very speedily fires out the chocolate map. We already butchered pronouncing this song once for today. We're just gonna call it the chocolate map.
Yeah, just call it chocolate map. Or the 2 of 2 for Pinocchio P, making it into this pool.
Ah, yes.
But this
Yeah, of
definitely, yeah.
Rice 2, very similar to Speed 1, as we know.
I mean, same artist.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same artist. And I think this is the second time this block that this has happened. This happened in Magno's earlier match. We went from Rice 2 to Speed.
I mean, once it's a coincidence, second time is a trend. People see something in here.
Once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times in a row, something's up.
Yeah,
the rule of threes, striking again.
for sure. And I mean, Maddy kind of shotgunning this pick immediately after picking up a unlikely breakpoint given alemagno's performance there by the slenderest margins, as we mentioned before, but off to a better start in comparison on the speed pick, early goings, but only by about 0.2%. We've seen alemagno hang in there when they have had accuracy discrepancies so far, and so long as they can keep themselves within striking distance of a mistake, that's really all they can really hope for as they continue their ascent through this chart. But Abyss going into the next break, or going into the next section, gonna put a bit of a damper on things here as Maddy begins to extend their advantage here.
Yeah, Maddy on the road for 3 for 3 in terms of match points so far in the match. Is on track to do so, up 17,000 score, and will be rapidly climbing for the next 150 or so notes. Which is going to put Maddy in a very good position heading into the second half of the chart.
For sure, and it really feels like when things do start to get dense here, the 1/8 really start to make an occurrence, getting into the 2-note chords as well. There's a lot of implied mini jacks in those sections where you have these disruptions bouncing between both hands that has not been causing misses for alemagno, but has definitely started to chip away at the accuracy. It's what was about 0.2% has grown to almost a full percent between the two players, and despite there only being one drop from their side, they're really starting to bleed over quite a couple of points as we get into the only real LN section of this chart, and they find a slider break to help extend the advantage for Maddy to 34,000 points.
Yep, and Maddy doubling the lead to about 36,000 score, is holding well at 99.4%, going into the final quarter of the song, up 1%, up on the momentum as well. It is looking incredibly good for Maddy. I struggle to see Magno pulling back from this, outside of an absolute shock-up.
For sure. We have seen it before in this tournament where leads have swung, but going into
we saw it twice.
Full double section.
In Magno's last match. We saw it against Magno, actually. It happened twice. Just 2 hours ago. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this time around. Maddy just looking incredibly consistent. In fact, is it a full combo as well?
So far, yes. They had a bit of a scary section in the first portion of those long double note streams, picking up a number of bad judgments, but able to hold on to the combo, and I think that's holding on to the FC as well. A full combo from Maddy's side to pick up a third point, capitalize on that first break point as well to really start this match off on the right foot.
Yeah, it is looking incredibly good for Maddy, who on track to try and pull off a sweep, but Magno is going to have something to say about it, as Magno going into the second very important map choice pick. And what do? I mean, speed's out the question, SV's gone. There's a fair amount of price maps in the pool. There's also a bit of LN. Yeah. Probably imprinting. Yep. Magno going for imprinting. Hoping to print out the first point on this side of the board. But will that eventuate? Maddy's going to have something to say about that. We'll see how we go.
I mean, if it went as close as Rice 2 did, where it was neck and neck all the way down to the wire, it really just comes down to just like hunkering down and just hyper focusing on the ratio. This is such a, I don't want to say straightforward song, but compared to something like Rice 4, this is the kind of map that accuracy sharpshooters crave. And getting on into it, alemagno not finding the best of starts, both of them picking up a number of 200s through that introduction, but alemagno with 2 misses now to their name, not gonna help matters here as we get into the double jumps. And Maddy already off to a 15,000 point lead, but actually finding a miss.
Yep. But accuracy still considerably higher, and Magna struggling to get anything going as well. Both of these players struggling for that good consistency. So it's going to keep the score at just under 10,000 for now, in Maddy's favor.
Yeah, so far so good for Maddy. But that being said, the shakiest they've looked so far this match in terms of overall consistency. A number of misses already through some of these sections, but still managing to nurse a 5-digit point lead despite alemagno's best efforts to climb back up in terms of accuracy. They're going to hit that 400 combo cap first. As I say that, finding a drop as we get into the extended long jacks on the left hand, not able to transition into the section cleanly, and that's going to undo all the work they have been putting in to try and put a dent in this deficit that they have built up. Third of the map left to go. Maddy still in the driver's seat going into this next section.
Yep. Incredibly strong performance too, turning the map around and is above 99%, but that section there causing both players to break, resetting the combos, and dropping the accuracies down to the 98% range. But Maddy up by 30,000 score. Nothing significant from Magno to contest that, and it looks like Maddy's going to take home the 4th point and is going to be sitting on the overall match point. He's looking to try and sweep this.
Yeah, overall, very good performances from both players. Maybe one that they might both want back in terms of overall consistency on the run. I'm more than sure they've been able to swing higher scores in their practices, but when it comes down to it, I mean, getting the point is all that matters at the end of the day, and Maddy on match point to start this match off.
Yep. All right, so where does Maddy go? A lot of choices to go for. I don't think going for LN is a proper idea, but Maddy's going to instead YOLO and Hybrid 2, which is a very interesting choice.
Yeah, I think the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Now, this is the first time we've seen this map all block. We didn't get to see this over the last 2 matches. So, you know, credit where credit to do. Maddy going for all of the completion of all the songs in this particular chart of matches. So, gotta get mad respect for that.
Absolutely.
And
fun facts with our referee.
Yep. And we're gonna go straight into Hybrid 2. Now this is one of the shortest maps in the pool. Only 90 seconds.
But oh boy, is there so much jam-packed into this chart, and both players, for the most part, avoiding the pitfalls of that LN introduction. We saw it in a match earlier this weekend where it's very easy to basically spike that entire introduction and column rush 200s throughout the entirety of it if you don't start off on the right foot. And right now, actually, alemagno getting the better start between the two players. Maddy picking up the first drop between the two of them. alemagno trading it back, though, as we get into these more complicated double bursts. And the lead shifts on back. Yeah,
Magno having one of the best leads all match, and unfortunately has given it back by the halfway point, and is now 30,000 score behind. Now, keep in mind, this is a very short song, so 40,000 to recover in 45 seconds, it is doable. But Magno is going to have to play incredibly well, and it's a tall order to do so, especially when you're trying to starve off a sweep. But it looks like Maddy's the player who is going to be scoring some good consistency here, which is very tricky to do on this chart. And it looks like Maddy's going to just sweep the match.
Yeah, valiant effort from alemagno there. Able to start off stronger, but really as things began to get denser, the polyrhythmic structures of this chart, a little bit too much for them to handle on the alternating front, and Maddy going to be able to close it out 5-0 to punch their ticket into the semifinals and stay alive for yet another weekend.
Yep. So, GG, well played. Maddy coming out to do business, and it was a bit of a struggle because Magno is a very decent player who, coming fresh off a win as well, was hoping to put up a bit of victories, but Maddy had to work for it. But Maddy managed to take Magno down in a 5-0 sweep. So that's going to be it for now. Yeah, so Maddy is going to be going on to face who? The upcoming loser of a winner bracket match that is yet to be determined, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see once the bracket fills out later on this weekend who they will be facing off against. But for now, we'll be taking a bit of a break, a bit of a lengthy break, 12 hours in fact. We got the next match at 14 UTC, Kulaipora versus Dragon, and that'll start off a bit of a choppy block where there's a pretty significant gap in between. Silicosis 2, Miniag23 after that, Bayetka versus Happy Gamer, and then Tat No Name Boy versus myself. I'll be playing in that last match of the weekend.
A classic. All right, well, that's going to be it for now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Sparxe tournament here in the quarterfinals.
Yep, and until then, we'll catch you guys later.
All right, take care.